Welcome to another webinar. This one is very special and much different from everything else that I've been recording, but I thought it's about time that I shared everything that I've learned on my path with you. So in this webinar, we're going to learn the why. This is not about the how, it's about why. So it's a much different perspective. And I would like for you to understand that in our universe, in our matrix, everything happens for a reason. Everything. There's not a single thing that happens by a mistake, accident, or coincidence, but it is your choice if you want to believe that or not. Everything you believe, that's how it is for your perspective. So we are going to start our presentation. Why do we get sick? I believe that a lot of you have wondered that, or at least once asked yourself a question, why me? Why is this happening to me? Not understanding the reasons behind it. And everything I'm about to tell you, I didn't discover it. It's been discovered quite long ago. I've read books from 100 years ago that I'm going to recommend to you and use the wisdom from those books in this video. But everything, it's on a repeat cycle. There's information out there and we just keep on rediscovering them. But when did it all start? Probably when the humanity started. And I do need to tell you about the medical disclaimer. This is not a medical advice. This is not diagnosis or treatment. This video is meant for informational and educational purposes only. If you would like to make any changes to your current health state, please consult your practitioner. And a little bit about me. So I am a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. I hold masters in acupuncture and herbal medicine. I am a certified recall healing health coach, and we will talk about recall healing as well. And I am a healing enthusiast. So my story is very, very unique. 11 years ago, I was diagnosed with 9 autoimmune diseases, out of which 2 were not confirmed. And it all started with lupus. It's an amazing story because my first rheumatologist told me that I will always be in pain and I will always be on prescription drugs, and he lied to me and I fired him. I also fired my second doctor, my second rheumatologist, because they promised to deliver a better embetterment of my state, and they failed. Every time I would go to see my rheumatologist, I would be prescribed medicine and I would get so much worse. So in my personal opinion, they were killing me, but that is just my opinion. So I finally took matters into my own hands. I started to get interested into my health. I knew that conventional ways were not for me. So I had to go and find an alternative methods. And how did I do that? So I found an acupuncturist. I found who actually became my meditation teacher, my master. I was a Neidan Qigong student for 9 years. I did many herbal cleanses, as all of you know. Those of you who know me from Instagram, you know that I talk about the herbal cleanses all the time and I still do them because I care for me. So I took matters into my own hands, and we're going to talk about the why behind it. But for as long as you ask the question, why this is happening to me, you are in a victim mentality. Oh, poor me. Oh my goodness. Why is this happening to me? Why are other people healthy and not me? That's the wrong question to ask. A good question is, how did I get there? Yeah. And one of the most important things that I've learned on my path is that no one can heal you from the outside. My acupuncturist didn't heal me. So what he did is he literally showed me my own power to heal myself. And that is the power of a true healer. And those of us who are ready to take matters into our own hands, doesn't matter if you want to make a big step or a small step, we will get the benefits. It all starts with a decision, which we will talk about. And so another vital thing on my journeys, as you know, I have a master's degree in Oriental medicine. I went to medical grad school to learn because I didn't understand my healing. I didn't understand how it happened. I didn't understand how I got here from being severely ill, unable to function. I was offered to go on disability at 34, and I refused it because I was actually offended because I wasn't ready to be a burden. This is what I thought of myself. I thought of myself that if I go on disability, I'll be a burden to my family, my children, society. And that's not who I am. And so I went to medical grad school, and I've discovered that every disease, every symptom, every condition, every illness has three things in common: physical aspect, emotional aspect, and energetical aspect. Unfortunately, Western medicine addresses only the physical aspect, and not very good if you ask me, because they do not discuss the benefits of the diet. They do not, somehow I lost an earring. I don't know how that happened. They do not address your thinking, which is a very physical aspect. They do not address your environment. They address the physical symptoms within your body, but not to support your body, but rather what the pharmaceutical industry does is they create pills that do the work for the body without the support that the body needs. And we will discuss the reasons behind that. Emotional aspect, oh my goodness, that's recall healing. So that's part of German New Medicine. And for me, honestly, that's the biggest aspect. Everything happens from your emotional state, everything. And I usually start with physical aspect, but today we're going to start with emotional aspect because this is how important it is. I would not be where I am if I didn't fix my emotions first. And my emotions were running the show. They were running the show. I would be getting offended. I would be getting triggered. And I was looking for things that would trigger me, because I couldn't control it, because I didn't know I could. It's an art. And this is what I'm teaching. Now, energetical aspect is traditional Chinese medicine, which we will also discuss, which again, your energy is connected to your emotions. So everything really goes back to the emotional aspect. And this is, guys, this is what I've discovered. This is my journey. This is my experience. You have every right to not agree with me. You have every right to believe whatever it is you want to believe. Because imagine this, your health today is a placebo effect. Yeah. You feel as good inside as you do on the outside. Everything is connected. And so let's start a little bit of what is a disease to me, what I've experienced, what I learned in medical grad school through textbooks. Yeah. I never thought that a doctor can help if they only have theoretical knowledge of your disease. They don't know what it's like. They have no idea. And they lack compassion in many instances. To me, a disease is just a label for symptoms. Lupus is a label for symptoms. Fibromyalgia is a label for symptoms. Everything is just, she has insomnia, pain, this and that. We're going to label it. And then remember, in conventional medicine, you're not a good client if you're healthy. So why would they want to keep you healthy? There's no profit. So this is something for you to consider. There's an industry out there who profits on your disease. Only you profit on your own health. But that is something for you to discover and for you to make a decision about. Again, my opinion. And we all are entitled to our own opinion. But I'm glad you're here, learning somebody else's perspective. And believe me, I would not be in full remission if I didn't change my perspective. So let's talk about the mind, where it all starts, the invisible part of us. See, the most important things are invisible. Your mind, subconscious, conscious, your energy. Think of it as Wi-Fi. You know it's there, but it's invisible. But you know it works because you have access to internet, right? But it's invisible. Same thing with energy, same thing with emotions, same thing with your mind. The brain, we can x-ray, we can see, but the mind is an invisible connection, and yet it has been proven to exist. So the mind, there's a contradiction of beliefs. The mind cannot hold two contradictory beliefs at the same time. Meaning, if you believe in disease, you cannot believe in health at the same time. If you believe in disease, if you believe that your disease is real, your mind cannot take on a contradictory belief that health exists. You either believe in one or the other. It's impossible to believe in one, in both at the same time. So it is your choice. And most of on my journey, I would say I'm sick. And then someone taught me, say you're healing. And I'm healing. And that's a complete change of perspective. We choose what we are, believe it or not. Yes, unconsciously, you chose your disease. And if this triggers you, because you would ask, why would I do this to myself? This is what I asked myself many times. And believe it or not, it was true. I was choosing by giving away the power, by giving away my own control. I was choosing that this is happening to me. One of the reasons, I can tell you right now, I wanted attention. I had so many childhood traumas. I was a neglected child. I was invisible, but I remembered in my childhood, whenever I would get sick, I would get so much attention from my mother that I craved, that my mind just decided, oh, we're going to do the same thing in your marriage. Yeah. But it didn't work. It just got me diseases and almost killed me. That's the power of your mind. Okay. Another reason for me getting sick was because I despised myself. There was no self-love. I never thought that I'm good enough. I never liked myself. I always felt judged, and I felt that my well-being depends on what others think of me. And again, all those beliefs come from my childhood. Were they destructive or were they constructive? Of course, they were destroying my life. And yet it was me. It was me allowing them because I was lacking the awareness that I actually have them. So this is the power of decision. My healing started with a decision. One night, I felt so much pain that I was sure in my mind, okay, I think I'm dying. And so I decided that my children don't deserve a mother like that. So what can I do? I was just laying there at night thinking to myself, what can I do? And then I thought of my children, and a warm feeling filled my heart. And I said to myself, I will be healthy. And then the mind asked, but how? I said, I don't care. I don't care. My children deserve the healthiest mother they can get. So I didn't do it for me. I didn't have self-love yet. I did have extreme love for my children. And from that moment on, whenever my mind would tell me, oh, you're so sick, you're in pain, I would ignore it. And I would say with a conviction, I am healthy. And I didn't know the power of this decision, but the universe literally guided me exactly where I needed to be to start my healing process, to learn everything. And to get to where I am, it took me 11 years. So it wasn't an easy process, but don't wait. There's no perfect timing to start, but right now is a perfect start to make a decision, to make it a conviction, a final judgment. It has to be a blind conviction. If you believe it so blindly that every time you get a pain, you ignore it because you concentrate on health, you envision yourself healthy, and you know it's possible, you know this is not how you were born. If you were born with a disease, whatever it may be, if you were born with a genetic dysfunction, dysregulation, disformation of your DNA, that's something different. But if you were born healthy and you accumulated your disease over the years, like I was diagnosed at 33, so it wasn't something I was born with. I was born with a genetic mutation that nobody knew about, which we will talk about later. But I knew I accumulated it, meaning it's my lifestyle. If my lifestyle led me to a disease, how can it lead me to health? It cannot. So, what was required to do? Change my entire lifestyle, everything. I quit drinking, I quit smoking, I quit eating junk. I bought cookbooks, I learned how to cook. I started reading ingredients. I started learning how I feel among people, and I started eliminating people, toxic people from my surroundings. Everything, guys. Like what I do, what I think, what I watch. Oh, that's the most important part. I tell clients all the time, stress makes everything. It can create any disease. And then you tell me you watch the news to give yourself stress. Well, I can't help you there. That's your decision. We are what we feed our mind with. If you feed yourself with the stress, that's what you're going to get. So this is the power of the decision. Everything happened for me with a decision. Yes, you can decide to be healthy. But again, it cannot be just a wishful thinking. Oh yeah, I'll be healthy. It has to be so strong. It has to be made with all of your heart. You do need a reason for it. If you are not the reason, think of people around you, think of your children, think of your partner, think of your parents. It has to be such a strong reason that there can be no questioning it. Absolutely no questioning it. This is the power of manifestation. Today, I can tell you, I manifested all of my diseases. I literally manifested with my fears. We get that which we are afraid of. I manifested my diseases. I manifested my divorce. I manifested my debt because I was afraid of it. And in order for the balance to be restored in the universe, I got everything that I was afraid of. I was so afraid of pain, always. Oh, and I got plenty. So now I embrace pain. Pain is a message. And we can always ask questions. What am I doing wrong? What am I missing? What am I not noticing? What is good about this situation? The hardest part, I think, that the hardest lesson that Tony Robbins taught me was, what is good in this situation? When your life is falling apart, when everything is going wrong, if you sit down and ask yourself, what is good in this situation? Well, the first answer your brain will give you is, of course, nothing. What are you talking about? There's nothing good about this. Keep on asking. Keep on asking. Usually there's a lesson. It's either lesson of belief, self-belief, patience, unconditional love, understanding, forgiving. There's always a lesson. And unless you learn the lesson, same thing's going to repeat in cycles. So where I want to take you on this explanation of a journey is, I've read hundreds of books, guys, hundreds, on healing, on perspective, on self-evolvement. I keep on reading. I am fascinated with other people's perspectives and how I can apply it into my own life. I learn every day. This is why I live, I think, because I learn. And so I took out quotes out of the most profound teachers, masters, in their own field, the people that I admire, people not necessarily with degrees, people who have experience, who went through life like I did. And so this is what we're going to concentrate on. Like I said, I always say this, trust me, but don't believe me. Don't believe me. Don't even believe yourself. Question everything, and you will find your answers. If you don't ask the question, you cannot get the answer. And I have a fun fact for you. You can only ask a question that your brain already has an answer to. You just have to wait for the answer to come. But keep on asking the question, what is good in this situation? And you will find it. So what I've learned, we talked about the perspective, right? The way you look at the world, the way you concentrate your attention, your awareness, that's what's going to be coming to you. And what I've learned through biology, the biology of the cell, and there's a wonderful documentary on Gaia, Who the Bleep Are We? A great explanation of the biology of the cell. So beliefs create the core beliefs that we receive in childhood, that we learn, basically the programs, right? Everybody is born innocent, free. We have when we are born, we have no hate, anger, shame, guilt, We develop those as we learn. And so belief creates your thoughts create your feelings, and your emotional state manifests as disease or health. I do apologize. I believe we are back on. Let me just return with the slides. I apologize. I have no idea what happened. I wish there was a way I could erase that. Where are we? We were what I learned. So, beliefs create thought, thought creates feelings, feeling manifests as disease or health. The biological process behind this is whenever you have a thought, your brain produces neuropeptides. Those neuropeptides are then released and enter every single one of your cells, programming the cell. So whether your cell is young and healthy depends on the quality of your thought. And then when the cell goes through the metabolism process, which is destruction, and the new cell is created in its place, that same programming stays. So if you look in the mirror and you say, oh, you're so fat, you're so ugly, you're so stupid, you're so poor, this is the programming you give to your cells, literally. Versus when you look in the mirror and you say, I love you, you're wonderful, you can do it, you're amazing, you're going to have a great day. This is the biology of belief. And I'm not sure if you did hear me say this, but on Gaia, there's a wonderful documentary and this documentary is called What the Bleep Are We? Let me just put back my light because I had to do some magic here. So let's start. Wonderful book by Don Miguel Ruiz, and all of his books are amazing. I've read all of his books except for the last one. He says that the manifestation of disease is fear, is anger, sadness, envy, and hypocrisy. The result of the disease is all the emotions that makes humans suffer. He actually states in his book that the whole world is a mental institution, and we normalized so many things that should be unacceptable. And I highly recommend you read his books, because his perspective opened my eyes so much to everything, especially to what love is. We have love all wrong, and he explained it to me. And we will talk about it a little bit later also. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, you know him. He wrote wonderful books. My favorite one is Becoming Supernatural. Your thoughts can make you sick, but your thoughts can also make you well. Think about it. Think about the power behind that. And he has personal experience with being in full remission, fully cured from severe nerve damage. Now, Bruce Lipton, another one of my favorites. Of course, I'm sure you heard of them. The moment you change your perception is the moment you rewrite the chemistry of your body. Your emotional state is manifested the way you look. If you are overweight or obese, you carry fear. Yeah. So in many cases, diet and exercising does nothing, because it's emotional. Your body's trying to protect you. If you are afraid, or if you carry trauma from your childhood that you never released, emotions are meant to be released. We are meant to feel them and release them. Okay. So the moment we release them, that's healthy. If we store them, they are literally stored as our tissue. Again, biology of the cell. And my favorite, we're going to talk about her a lot because she changed my entire life. I feel like I've been her in my previous life. So Florence Scovel Shinn wrote books about 100 years ago. All of her books, we're going to talk about them later. But the metaphysician knows that all disease has a mental correspondence. And in order to heal the body, one must first heal the soul. Next one. And this is so true, guys. And believe me, I know. Unforgiveness is the most prolific cause of disease. It will harden arteries or liver and affect the eyesight. It's in its train are endless ills. It is safe to say that all sickness and unhappiness comes from the violation of the law of love. And what does she mean about the law of love? And this is very important. Okay. If you give perfect love, you receive perfect love back. But we don't give perfect love, because the love we give expects. That's what I did. This is why my marriage broke off, because I was giving conditional love and I didn't know about it. I didn't know that I was expecting, and I was. No one taught me otherwise. I'm just learning this now. Yeah. It's never too late to learn, guys. You can change your life anytime if you learn new perspectives. So the true love is the kind that doesn't want anything in return. But that can only originate within the self-love first. Because if you have enough of love within you, you can share. But if you have zero love within you, you're going to want to take it from somebody on the outside. You're going to expect that something from the outside or somebody from the outside will make you happy. My kids will make me happy. My job will make me happy. My purses will make me happy. My husband will make me happy. My vacation will make me happy. Happiness, like love, is a decision. It starts within. It doesn't come from the outside. It doesn't work like that. But it's something that we don't know. No one taught us. We've been raised on this weird idea that if I give you something, you give it to me back, because it's a condition. Now, this is very triggering for some. And John Randall Price, he turned my life around. He literally turned my life around. In his book, Nothing is Too Good to Be Truth. You don't get health from what you eat or don't eat. You don't get sick from something out there. There's nothing out there to cause anything. It's all consciousness. And your body is a reflection of what you're thinking and feeling. Your body is a reflection of what you're thinking and feeling. He was the first person to explain to me that everybody's neutral. But it is my subconscious, the invisible part of my brain, the unconscious one, that attracts or repels? Have you ever thought to yourself that, why do I attract losers? Why do I attract cheaters? Why do I attract liars? Why do I repel the good people? It is all you. It comes from you. What is the program that's running your subconscious mind? Mine was, you're not worthy. Your father never loved you, so no one will. Yeah. I had to give myself that love that I was missing from my childhood. Literally, I had to reparent myself to be where I am right now. And so your body is a reflection of what you're thinking and how you're feeling, and it will manifest. So conventional medicine can give you all the band-aids for the symptoms, but what is the real cause? It's always how we feel. Let's continue to recall healing. So recall healing is a branch of German New Medicine. It concentrates on unhealed childhood traumas, unprocessed emotions, any traumas actually from any age, because it can happen at any time. And in recall healing, Dr. Gilbert Renaud, he discovered that the brain already has all the tools to heal. All it needs to do is send signals. Why doesn't it send signals? Because every trauma causes a conflict. And for as long as your brain thinks there's a conflict, for instance, you hold a grudge against your parents, you hold a grudge against your boss, you hold resentment for your husband, you hold resentment for your siblings, whatever it is you're holding on to, not releasing, the brain will think it's in conflict. And so he actually, Dr. Renaud, he wrote a book about every condition and what is the emotional aspect behind it. This is what I present to you in my webinars, because I feel like knowledge about this changed my life in the course of my history. So biology of the cell, we talked about this. It's your thought creates, your brain releases neuropeptide, the neuropeptides go into your cells, and that's how your body is literally made. This is, you're either made from happiness or you're made from hate, or you're made from sadness, or you're made from fear. What is the emotion that is making you? What do you feel? First thing, when you look at yourself in the mirror every morning, every one of us looks in the mirror when we wake up. What is it that you feel? That's very self-explanatory. Again, there's a documentary about this and you can research it. So perspective, remember, positive mind gives positive life. Negative mind gives negative life. If you concentrate on the good, you will find it. If you concentrate on the bad, you will also find it. We get that which we concentrate on. It's pretty simple, right? So ask yourself, do you complain? Do you swear? Do you engage in gossip? Do you judge? Are you criticizing either yourself or others? Because that's your vibration. That's what you're creating. Versus, do you love yourself and others? Are you supportive? Is that your intention? Whenever you meet someone, do you ever think to yourself, how can I be supportive in this situation? It is all, everything starts within us, guys. Now I want you to understand this perspective. So what is poison that we drink? Yes, the poison that we drink that stays in our body, making us sick. Hate, complaining, blaming, judging, envy, jealousy, anger, resentment, sadness, and fear, and many others. Any emotion in excess will create imbalance. Same thing if there's a lack. If there's a lack of joy, you will also get imbalance. So what we can do as humans is to notice and name our emotions in order for us to process them, to find a solution, not let them run the show of our body. We need our body. This is the only body you get. So unless you know what's running the show, you can't fix it. So antidote is love. And to learn about the true love, the one that I talked about, the one that doesn't expect, I read The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. Of course, Transurfing Reality by Vadim Zeland. He blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. Ask and It Shall Be Given by Abraham Hicks, and Dying to Be Me by Anita Moorjani. I read Anita's book in January of 2025, and it completely blew my mind. I didn't know, I'm not joking. I didn't know that I don't have to do anything to deserve love. I didn't. I learned from Anita. I thought that's how I was raised. I was raised to always do, because the more I do, the more valued I am, the more noticed I am, the more acknowledged I am, then I can be loved. I deserve to be loved if I do something. And the truth is, you don't have to do anything to deserve love. All you have to do is be born, exist, breathe. And this is universal truth for every one of us, because the energy that created us loves us unconditionally. So Anita's book is a must read. There's no other way, guys. It's such a wonderful experience. I mean, she's cured from stage 4 sickness, and it is proven scientifically. Emotions are good. They help us, but they are supposed to be a signal that is released and it's gone. If they stay in the body, stagnation happens. And that's when the energy stops moving. So why do we need fear? Well, fear tells me not to go in front of the car. Fear tells me not to jump out of the cliff. Fear tells me not to burn myself in the fire. It's very needed, very much needed. Anger tells me someone crossed my boundaries. Sadness tells me, oh, I just lost something. It's a communication, it's a signal. I feel it, I release it, I move on. But when they stay, that's when issues happen. This is why animals get sick much less, because they shake it off. Literally, they move. They release the excess emotion. Shake it off, guys. If you ever get super angry, don't trust me. I'm sorry. Trust me, but don't believe me. Check it for yourself. Shake it off. Whenever you feel like you've been next to someone that you felt really bad energy from, shake it off and see how you feel. I bet you will feel much better. So, and this brings us to traditional Chinese medicine. In traditional Chinese medicine, the body is a map, and all the way your energy flows has been mapped for us, and we call it meridians. Different meridians go through all the body, and then based on where you have issues or pain, we can distinguish which meridian it is and which emotion caused that dysfunction. So the liver is anger, the most common. Gallbladder is a resentment. So it's anger that's hidden. And lungs and large intestine meridian, it's your grief and sadness. Heart and small intestine meridian, it's your joy or lack of joy. Kidney and bladder meridian, it's your fear and fright. Stomach and spleen meridian, it's your worry, doubt, and lack of grounding. And also for the heart and small intestine, it's not just the joy or lack of it. It can also be excess joy, because then you become a maniac. So that's also any excess we consider not good, nor deficiency. In traditional Chinese medicine, we love balance. So same thing for yin and yang. It always has to be balanced. It's your feminine and masculine energy. We see a lot of issues when women are in their masculine energy for too long, or when men are in their toxic feminine or toxic masculine energy. What does it mean? It means when men is passive, undecided, cannot make a decision, doesn't do anything, doesn't help, doesn't participate, is completely expecting for everybody else to take care of him. And then for a woman, when she's in her toxic masculinity, is when she takes that role, when she allows it, when she becomes a provider, when she organizes everything, when she does everything, plus she works, plus she takes care of the children, and then all of a sudden she has multiple autoimmune diseases. Yeah. So that's what we call imbalance of energy. The whole world is energy. I know you've heard that before. It is very hard to understand, but this can be measured. Your body emits a signal, it's a frequency, it's a vibration. I know you don't feel it, but every single cell in your body, and we have about 4 trillion cells, 4 or 40, don't quote me on that. But every single cell in our body is vibrating, it is moving. And we see disease when there's not enough energy. Energy is a currency. Or we see a disease when there's a stagnation of energy. And stagnation means that you're holding on to anger, you're holding on to fear, you're holding on to some emotion you don't want to release, and it will cause stagnation of energy. Usually it's pain. That's the symptom of it. And it results in disease, condition, or symptom, whatever it is. It's disharmony, okay? It's imbalance. And the body has been made to live in balance. The body always wants to be in homeostasis, in a perfect balance. Okay, there's a free meditation. If you are interested in gathering some of your energy back, go to umlacademy.com. There's a free Qigong meditation. It's an awareness of breath, and our breath is healing. And there's not enough information out there about how healthy it is to be aware of your breath. Physical aspect. Okay, so we're done with the energetical, we're done with the emotional, and yet we're still gonna discuss a little bit of emotions. So your environment is physical and emotional. So where you live matters. If there's mold in your house, if you are exposed to secondhand smoke or any other toxins, it will have an impact on your health. The physical aspect is also the easiest to fix because it's visible usually. You can see it. You can see the mold, you can see what's making you sick. So this is why I left it for the very last. Now, an emotional aspect of your environment, that's the abuse. And we have 3 types of abuse. It could be emotional, physical, and financial. Usually that means you're in a toxic relationship. Let's talk a little bit about your anatomy. So your health is equal to your body's ability to excrete or detox toxins and pathogens. And this is highly dependent on our genetic mutations or our genetic expression, which again are regulated by our environment. I was born with MTHFR gene mutation. I was born with severe jaundice. My mother was told that I have 50% chance of living. And I didn't know back then that I had also DAO enzyme mutation, which resulted in histamine intolerance, which literally can mimic any disease. And then add chronic stress to us. My detox pathways were not working. This is why I got sick. I was accumulating more toxins than my body could get rid of. How do we get rid of toxins? Through defecation, through urination, and through sweat. My body was holding on to everything, and it was literally poisoning me. I suffered with liver failure right before I had my lupus diagnosis, and now it makes complete sense. And no one taught me how to support my detox organs. But if you're interested, I have a webinar just on detox, so you get an idea how important that is. So anything can make you sick if your detox pathways are clogged or impaired. And this is what we're going to concentrate on, because most of us are born with some form of MTHFR gene mutation. And in my opinion, it can also happen if you carry too much anger, because your liver is then affected. The energy within your liver meridian stops flowing as it's supposed to. So you get poor liver function, accumulations of heavy metals in the kidneys. And then some of us get constipation, some of us get diarrhea, clogged intestines, and we don't sweat nearly enough because that's a lifestyle choice. So common things that make you sick if your detox pathways are impaired. Even microwaves do, yeah. Because they produce electromagnetic field, which is very negative for the human body. We need negative and positive ions. And if there's only positive ions and there's no negative ions, we cannot be healthy. Teflon cookware will make you very sick. It made me sick for years. I didn't understand why. I'm eating so healthy, and then I was using Teflon cookware. Read it up. There's so much information online nowadays. Polyester will make you sick. Why? Because everything your skin touches gets absorbed in microparticles through micropores. Heavy or toxic metals? Do you use aluminum in your deodorant? That will accumulate too. Remember, if your detox pathways are good, this will not. It will not affect you. But if they're not, everything has the power to affect you. Even unfiltered shower water or blue light exposure. This is why you see me wearing the blue light blockers. Scents, someone who wears perfumes. Everything can be a trigger. So diet is probably the easiest aspect to fix and the most important one. If your diet consists of whole foods, no preservatives, no taste enhancers, if you read your ingredients and you can pronounce all of them, you're good. But if you eat high histamine foods, alcohol, cigarettes, or drugs, believe it or not, you're poisoning your system, and that is your choice. And it is a very conscious choice because nowadays you can do a research and find out what is good or what is bad for you. Next, sleep. Sleep doesn't matter what your detox is like. If your sleep is messed up, your body will show you. So it's either lack of sleep or poor sleep habits. What do? We're the generation that looks at our phone right before bed, right after we wake up. We're so addicted. That's not what your brain likes. That literally disturbs your brain function. And it is very important to sleep in a dark, safe place. And if you are in a toxic relationship, that is hard to achieve. See, I didn't know why my body wasn't healing, right? It's supposed to heal. But because I was in a toxic relationship and I was 50% of the toxicity, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm actually taking full responsibility for my part in it. I didn't know the damage that I was doing, but I couldn't heal because I didn't trust. I wasn't feeling safe. So that's also something to consider. Stress response, lack of adequate movement. Muscle loss. Most of us don't exercise our muscles, and I cannot stress how important this is. We don't age because we lose our muscle mass. We literally stop moving, and our aging accelerates. And what is your stress response? Think about it. If you're getting triggered, if you're over emotional, if you're like me and you're having reactions to every movie that is sad, you're not controlling your emotions. I wasn't. They were running the show. Again, that's your stress response. It will stress the heck out of you, especially when you're watching the news and you know it's something you can't control. It will literally run the show. So taking care of those emotions is first thing. Healing anything from your childhood, any traumas, any unprocessed emotions, super, super important. Dehydration. So we're talking about mineral deficiency, vitamin deficiency. Notice how your doctor will only check for D vitamin, and yet we have more. We have C, E, A, and we have 8 types of B. If you're fatigued, maybe they will check B12. What about the rest? They don't care. Why? Because if they knew what you're missing, that's a too easy fix. And again, remember, there's no profit if you are healthy. No one does micronutrient testing. No one does HTMA, hair tissue mineral analysis. So you don't know. To test your minerals, it is not accurate in the blood. It is accurate in the tissues because minerals are not meant to be in a blood. They're meant to be in a tissue. So hair tissue mineral analysis literally will tell us what is missing, what is there's too much. For me, it turned out I had magnesium toxicity and severe potassium deficiency. I didn't know. You don't know until you test. But again, those are the kind of tests that no insurance covers. And those are pretty easy fixes. And I will later on tell you a book that you can read to find out how much of each you need, because you have to decide for yourself. Other things that could make you sick, amongst a million of other things that are out there. Remember, this is my experience. So root canals, parasites, and toxins. I should say toxins and pathogens, but parasites are part of the pathogens. Toxin is any substance that brings harm to your body. Mycotoxins from mold. We have neurotoxins out there. We have many types of bacteria, viruses that can potentially make us sick. So root canals are like the ultimate evil. In my opinion, I had an infected root canal that I didn't know about the infection. It was probably there for like 10, 15 years. I don't know. I don't remember when I got it. Anyhow, the infection was so tiny. It was like microscopic. But after I removed the tooth. I did an herbal cleanse for 6 months, and I went to check my lupus antibodies, and they came back negative. Imagine that. So, was it toxins and poisoning my body, or was it really autoimmunity? Because now my body has no need to attack me. Perhaps it was attacking something within me that was destroying me. And root canals is like leaving a dead tissue in your body. What it's going to do? It's going to rot. That's what it does. And when a tissue inside you dies and rots, creates bacteria, because bacteria try to decompose the dead tissue. It's a natural process. So I felt like I was always sick, guys, always. Yeah, that's my story. And then, of course, when you have an overload of bacteria and toxins, because the dead tissue within my mouth attracted everything, parasites are an opportunistic creatures. And so I had an infestation of roundworm, hookworm, and liver flukes. And there's a wonderful book about it, Dr. Hulda Clark. I highly recommend it. When I did a parasitic detox cleanses, of course, herbal, my whole life changed. My whole life. Guys, I function with no pain. I function with 0 symptoms. I've never been this healthy. Never in my entire life. But yet, this, again, educational purposes only. My story. So toxins are everywhere. Unless it says non-toxic on the bottle, you can be sure it's toxic. It's in hair dye. It's in nail polish. Remember, everything your body touches is, even through your nails, it's being absorbed into your bloodstream through micropores. Cosmetics, lotions, shampoo, soap, makeup, anything that you put on your skin. So I became really cautious. When I buy something, I always read the ingredients. If it has a preservative that I cannot pronounce, I'm not buying it. This is how I changed my lifestyle. Yes, it takes more time, but is it worth it? Yes. Is it super expensive? No. My health is worth it. Okay. I'm willing to make an investment. If I have an option to buy a soap that is $1 more expensive than the toxic soap, I'll do it. I will budget the way so that I can afford what's healthy and make it make sense. You guys, we're all different. We are all different. There is no same disease. We all have different symptoms and we all have different root causes. This is what I love about traditional Chinese medicine, because they don't have one label fits it all. There's as many patterns as there is people in the world, because we all have different reasons. So someone may have a perfect diet, but a lot of unhealed trauma. They will lose energy and become sick. And someone may have a terrible diet, but they are very well balanced emotionally. They're going to have good energy and health. See how that works? Everybody is different. We do things for different reasons. Not every smoker got lung cancer, and not every alcoholic got liver failure, but some did, because one person drinks to celebrate, another person drinks to release the stress, which of course will not work because the stress is still there. So it's a fake belief. It's an illusion of control. And then same thing for smoking. I don't know anybody though who smoked for pleasure. It smells so bad. I used to be a smoker, and I smoked because it gave me temporary confidence, and it gave me like a release of stress. And then I learned I can do meditation the same way without smoking. And it's just, what I was doing with the cigarette was breath work, because we can regulate our nervous system through breath work. Isn't that fascinating? How I thought the only way for me to be calm was when I smoked, but it turns out if I learn breathing meditations, it gives me the exact same result. Crazy world we live in. Let's go to Vadim Zeland. He absolutely changed my life with Transurfing Reality. And I agree with him on everything. It's a wonderful, wonderful book to read. And he says that, well, he was the one who taught me that I am never sick. I am always healing, because my body, just like yours, has metabolism. It is always regenerating. It just needs the right environment to heal correctly. So people are so used to playing the illness game that cure is seen as an attribute of a side effect of that game, but not a goal in its own right. Yeah, it's a game. Think about it as a game. Play the healing game. Don't play the sick game, play the healing game. Be interested in your health. Ask questions. Do not go to the doctor blaming the doctor or relying 100% on the doctor. Look at your diet, look at your environment, look at your emotions. Yes, you have them. You are not a robot. Every single one of us has emotions. When I was growing up, emotions were taboo. We didn't talk about emotions. It's like people didn't have them. But we know now that emotional balance is a key to well-being. Okay, and another one from Vadim Zeland. He says the only conclusion worth drawing is that if you want to be healthy and beautiful, you have to change your lifestyle. And by that, he means everything. What do you think about yourself? What do you do? Do you have goals? What would you like to achieve? How your action supports your goals? Everything. From your desires to your failures, you have to take everything into consideration, your entire lifestyle. Books to read. Like I said, on my journey, I read hundreds of books. I picked those because those had the most impact on my life. You can take a screenshot. I'll go through them. So Florence Scovel Shinn, The Complete Works. I think it's like 4 books in one. It's amazing. Her most popular book is The Game of Life and How to Play it. I'm sorry, The Game Called Life and How to Play It. She explains all the rules. If you're not curious just by the title, you are. And then Wallace D. Waddell. So they are both from about the same era, about 100 years ago. Also The Complete Works. So he has about 8 books. Crazy information, life-changing information. His first most famous book is The Science of Being Rich. When you read that book, you will understand that there's no way you can be poor. There's no way. And then, of course, Don Miguel Ruiz, any book. He has a wonderful book called The 4 Agreements, The 5th Agreement, The Mastery of Love, The Voice of Knowledge. All of them wonderful education of perspective. Wonderful. Completely life-changing. One of my favorite, Dr. Rath. Why don't animals get heart attacks, but people do? In his book, he talks all about the correct supplementation of vitamins and minerals. And it's all based on medical science. He's a doctor. He's a cardiologist from Germany. And then we have Colin Tippings, who taught me about radical forgiveness. And it blew my mind. This is how I healed most of my childhood trauma. Probably all of it. Yeah. There's no way to keep trauma in or any unprocessed emotions if you read that book. And then we have Robert Schwartz with Courageous Souls, which literally tells you why we're here and what's our purpose. If you're ready for that kind of information, or if you are suffering from loss of someone passing away, and you notice you can't get past the sadness, this is a book for you. And then wonderful book, Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. Another book that they wrote is Courage to be Happy. Both amazing information, completely life-changing. Because if you are constantly functioning from a place that you need validation, you need to act in order to be liked, you never have a chance of being the authentic you. If you are not authentic you lose so much energy. Your body for sure will have symptoms of disease or chronic sickness. It's impossible any other way. We only preserve our energy when we are authentically ourselves. Think about it. And so Courage to be Disliked literally changed my life. And I invite you to visit umlacademy.com, where I share my story in my ebooks. So I have an ebook, How I Reversed Autoimmune Diseases, which is on sale now for $25, and a free ebook, The Long Road to Illness, Exploring the Origins of Chronic Disease, where I talk about all the aspects of healings in a little bit more depth. So I'm sharing with you that for free. If you are interested, to learn more about this. And we made it in an hour. And we're not done yet. So, perspective. I want you to keep this in mind. And this is triggering for some. And I received a lot of pushback from clients on this when I say this. Happy people don't get sick, and hurt people hurt people. I've had a lady who said that, but I'm happy, arguing with me. And I'm like, happy people don't argue. If you were truly happy, you would have absolutely no desire to make me want to change my mind, because you wouldn't care, because your truth doesn't need to be defended. You see, I do not care that you don't agree with me. This is just something that I believe in, and we have right to believe in everything that we want to. But if you have the right to argue with me that my belief is wrong, then you are not happy, because happiness is the truth. It doesn't need to be defended, or I don't need to make you change your mind just so that you believe what I believe. I don't care. I could not care less what you believe in. I could not care if you like me or not. I like me. That's what's most important. And if I like me and someone tells me something to change my perspective and possibly make me better, I don't argue. But if you carry anger, if you carry resentment, you will have the need to argue with people, because your ego needs drama to feed on. You see the process? Yeah. So I've had pushback, but this is the truth. Thank you. And again, find me on Instagram if you don't already follow me, Universal Mama Lena Academy. Ask questions, be interested about your health. Visit my website, umlacademy.com. And I want to leave you with this quote, which I will discuss a little bit, by Abraham Hicks. I'm not sure if you know who Esther Hicks is, but I recommend her books. All possibilities are now available right now. How do you want to feel? This is a question for you right now. How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel good? Do you want to feel healthy? Do you want to feel pain-free? Do you want to feel understood? Do you want to feel like you belong? How? It's your choice. So let's say your answer was, I want to feel happy and light. Okay, let's go from there. What makes you happy? See, we humans, we were raised to know what we are not, what we do not like, but we don't really know what we like and what we are, and we are all different. How do you know what makes you happy if you haven't tried a whole bunch of things? It's impossible, right? Unless you try, like, let's say ice skating. What if that's what makes you happy, but you don't know because you never tried it? Make a list of what makes you happy and then see what can be accomplished today. For me, it was very simple, because I was so sick 11 years ago, I couldn't move. So walking makes me super happy. So whenever I feel down, I go for a walk, and it's like, whoa. You know, when you have this comparison of being in a disease that is killing you, and you know it, and you're dying, and every single part of you hurt. I had lupus, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, everything hurted, including my scalp, my hair, everything. There wasn't a part of my body that wasn't hurting. I was barely able to move. So now whenever anything is making me sad or is bringing me down, I go for a walk and I appreciate my body. I appreciate the fact that I can walk. It's fantastic comparison. But see, that was an easy one for me to find, because when you go from a disease that prevents you from moving, and then you you go into full remission and you can do anything. I weightlift 3 times a week, which to me it's like, whoa, I am still in so much appreciation that I can move, that I can lift, that I can live my life to the fullest the way I want to. I am absolutely in awe, but I know how I want to feel, and I know what I like. I journal every day. What do I want? What makes me happy? What am I grateful for? What am I excited for? What is good in this situation? There's so many ways, guys, to improve our lives every single day. Thank you so much. That's what I will be leaving you with. I hope it was as educational for me as it was for you, as it was for me. Again, there's many more things that can go wrong, that can cause your diseases. This is just what I learned on my path, and I wanted to share that with you, because for some of us, we'll think, oh, it's the pollution that makes me sick, right? Or it's the food that we eat. We don't realize, guys, that if you carry anger, the healthiest salad will do nothing, because what do you think will become your emotion? And that's how our body is manifested. So, thank you so much for joining me. Again, be interested in your health, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.